Hello and good day to you. My name is Dapo Olanipekun, the founder of Charis Music School, and very briefly, I'll be taking you through um, the introduction to music theory. So, when you hear music, what comes to mind? A lot of things come to mind actually. Um, the piano comes to mind, the guitar rather comes to mind, the piano comes to mind, a violin comes to mind, people singing comes to mind. So, um, in all these things and all these pitched musical instruments that you can see in mind, um, um, there's something that's constant in everything. They are the musical notes. So the same notes on the keyboard, actually the same notes on the guitar, actually the same notes in the voice too. The voice is an intangible musical instrument. It's a musical instrument as well. Listen. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. So everything sounds all the same. Again. Da 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 da. This is a musical instrument, this is a musical instrument, this is a musical instrument as well. Don't get it twisted, they are all musical instruments. There's nothing like someone is singing, then someone else is playing the instrument. We're all playing instruments, right? So music has to do with musical instruments, and all the musical instruments have they are unified in notes. The same notes on the guitar, and the same notes on the piano, and the same notes in the voice, same notes on violin, same notes on sax, and what have you, xylophone and the rest, and harp. So actually, both the guitar, the piano, the voice, and most of the instruments in the world are arranged in order of 12 tone equal temperament. So that means you have 12 notes, basically. You have 12 notes. Those are the 12 notes. Those are the 12 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Those are the 12 notes you have in music. So those 12 notes on the keyboard are the same on the guitar and the same in the voice. Da di da di di da di da di da da di. Di da da di da di da di da da di da. Same notes on the voice, same notes on the guitar, and other musical instruments. So this is why musical instruments can play together. A guitarist can play alongside a pianist can play alongside a guitarist can play alongside a violinist can play alongside a saxophonist, a trumpeter can play with with a harpist, so a xylophonist can play with what, a banjoist, right? Banjo is the name of a musical instrument, in case you're watching this and you didn't know. See, there's so many musical instruments. There's balalaika or something like that. There's so many instruments. Flute, recorder. There are different types of those. Even there's hand recorder, something recorder. There's different types of saxophone instruments. Soprano sax, baritone sax, tenor sax. Soprano sax, alto sax, of course. So all these musical instruments, it's amazing and fascinating to find out that the same 12 notes operate in all of them. The same 12 notes operate in all the musical instruments. So yeah, the 12 notes are actually arranged in a particular interval sequence. So actually in music we use the first 7 letters of the English alphabet. We actually make use of English language in music. That is the founding basis for English language, the letters, and mathematics as well. In terms of distance, those are the two things we use when it comes to music: the letters in English language and the idea of distance in mathematics. Basically, addition, subtraction, right? And the concept too of boundaries. I think back then in secondary school, I could still remember we did something that had to do with, I think when you were drawing curves in mathematics, the graphs, there's a boundary where something starts from. And there's another boundary where it ends. And at times the boundary could be inclusive, the boundary may not be inclusive. So that concept applies a whole lot to music, a whole lot. To having a tonic note being the boundary, the starting point, then we calculate the intervals from the starting point, from the tonic. And we're going to go into that shortly. The tonic is the starting note for a scale. What is a scale? A scale is an interval sequence of notes. Like I said, we have 12 notes altogether. So, when we want to sing, how do we know which of the notes to pick? A scale helps us to tell that. But just right before we go into scale, I'm going to talk about the interval between the 12 notes. So, I was talking about English language. For English language, we have the first 7 letters, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are the 7 alphabets we need in music. And we don't call them alphabets in music, we call them notes. And depending on what we are talking about, we may call them keys. When we call them a key, it means we are having that note as the center tone of that key, as the home note of the key we're in. So, and when we say we have a key, it means we're referring to that note and many other notes, some other notes. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G are what we use in music. So after G, we have A again. We don't have H. So, like I said, we're using just the first 7 alphabets: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. After G, we don't have H. We have A again, and the cycle continues. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So that's why you have many keys on the keyboard. I'm sure you probably see the keyboard and you're like, wait, which of the notes, how do you know the notes to play? I've had quite a number of persons ask me that, how are you knowing the notes to play on the keyboard? Are you just guessing? People ask, like, are you just guessing the notes to play? No, I'm not guessing the notes to play. I'm not guessing the notes to play. Out of training, I've been able to tell, okay, this is the scale I will use at this point. This is the note that will accompany me when I'm in that scale, of course, which would help me make music rather than making a noise, right? So, for the 7 notes of the English alphabet, what's the interval sequence between them? That's where the concept of mathematics comes into play. So the English alphabet, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We are clear with English from there. Mathematics, there are certain distances, between each of those notes. So you would recall in mathematics, 3 minus 2 is 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, right? 2 and a half plus half equals 3. 2 plus half equals 2 and a half, right? Or 2.5. 2 plus 0.5, which is half, is 2.5, which is 2 and a half, right? So the same concept in music too. Between A and B, note A and B, we have a tone distance. A tone distance, one tone distance between A and B. So that means if we were to move from A to B, we are adding 1. Just like in mathematics, when for you to move from 2 to 3, you need to add 1 to 2. So when you add 1 to 2, you get a 3. So the same concept in music. When you add a tone to A, I didn't say 1 now. 1 in music is a tone, depending on what you are inferring at that point in time. So when you add a tone to A, you get note B. But on the other hand, between note B and C, you have what we call a semitone, a natural semitone actually. I'll go later into what natural semitone means. It means we have a semitone between B and C, which means we have half distance. From A to B, we have a tone distance, but from B to C, we have a semitone distance, half, partial distance. Then from C to D, we have a tone distance as well. From D to E, we have a tone distance. But from E to F, we have another semitone distance, just like we had from B to C. From E to F, we have another semitone distance. Then from F to G, we have another tone distance, right? Then from G, we're going to where? That will be to A again. From G to A, we have a tone distance. So the cycle continues like that. Then from A to B, tone. B to C, semitone, right? From C to D, that gives us a tone. From D to E, that's a tone distance. From E to F, semitone distance. From F to G, tone. From G to A, right? We're repeating the cycle again. That's a tone distance from G to A. From A to B again, tone. B to C, semitone. C to D, tone. D to E, tone. E to F, semitone. F to G, tone. G to A, tone. A to B, tone. B to C, semitone. I hope you get the cycle now. So basically, we only have a semitone distance occurring between notes B and C, and between notes E and F. The rest are tone distances for the natural notes. By natural notes, I mean notes A to G. You understand? Which is why I said between B and C, we have a natural semitone. So the reason why I said we have a natural semitone is because when we are moving from a note such as A to the note that is in between A and B. So now that what I said earlier, I said between A and B, there is a tone distance between A and B. So there is actually a note in between A and B, which is why the movement from A to B is a tone. The movement from A to the note that is in between, this is A, this is B. The movement from A to the note that is in between A and B is a semitone. And the name of that note could be A sharp or B flat. A sharp or B flat. So this is A, this is B. In the middle here we have A sharp or B flat. So we call A sharp because we are moving a semitone higher from A. When we add the semitone to A, we get A sharp. The idea of sharp means we are increasing the note by a semitone. Do you understand? We are increasing that note by a semitone, and it actually has effect in its sound. This is an A note. This is a B note. So this is A, B, A, B. Listen to this. A sharp, B. Do you hear how that sounded? It literally sounded like we were going to get to B, but we did not get to B. A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, A, B, E, A, B, A, B, A, B, A sharp, B. Right? So that's A sharp, and it can also be called B flat. The idea of flat means you reduce a note by semitone. So those are called accidentals, by the way, sharp and flat. A sharp sign means you are increasing a note by a semitone distance. Flat sign means you're reducing a note by a semitone distance. That's simple. So if this is B, which it is, and I reduce it by a semitone, which I just did. I went to the black note below B. This is B flat. You can hear how it sounds. It sounds like it's dropping. I'm coming down semitones all through now. I'm coming down semitones. Then I'm going up tones now. I'm going up in semitones that way. So that's semitones movement, and if I were moving tones, listen to how it sounds as well. Da, 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 da. So that's of course a lot of jumps, right? Tone jumps. So the note between A and B is A sharp or B flat. Then the note between A and B is A sharp, right? Or B flat. Then between B and C, we actually don't have any note between B and C. For now, you can take it from me as we don't have a B sharp and we don't have a C flat. At advanced level we do, and it's more of theoretically based than practical. But to keep this simple, right? We don't have a B sharp, we don't have C flat. So that is why we have a natural semitone between B and C. So A, we add a semitone to A, we have A sharp. We add a semitone to A sharp, we have B. Remember, A sharp, B, A sharp, B, right? Then from B to C, we have a natural semitone. This is B, this is C, B, C, natural semitone. So then from C, however, to D, we have a tone. So that means we have a note between C and D as well, which is C sharp or D flat. From C to C sharp, we have a semitone distance. From C sharp to D, we have another semitone. Therefore, from C to D, we have a tone distance. And C sharp can also be called D flat. So basically that's the arrangement. So any note that has a tone gap in between definitely has a note in the middle. definitely has a note in middle. So quick reminder, from A to B we have what? From A to B we have a tone, because we have A sharp in between there. From A sharp to B we have a semitone. From B to C we have a natural semitone, remember. Therefore, from A sharp to C we have a tone. And trust me, all these would be made much more simpler with your copy of Simplified Music. This is Simplified Music. I'm the author of Simplified Music. It makes music theory super simplified for you. I mean, all these concepts I was talking about are actually outlined there. There's actually even a staircase diagram that shows the relationship between the notes, and there's a wave diagram that explains that as well. So the wave diagram will go a long way in clarifying the subject matter, what I'm discussing. So it's really like a blessing. This manual is actually a blessing. And if you look at the way these notes are there, I mean, I think it's kind of obvious. You have A, you can see B, C are very close together. Notes B and C are very close. You have D, E, F is very close as well. Then G, A, B, C is close again. So there's this arrangement that actually outlines making it easy to understand why E and F is a natural semitone, D and C we have a natural semitone in between there. Then the other ones we have notes in between, and they have tone distances, right? So so that's for we were at A sharp to C, right? So the distance between A sharp and C is a tone as well. You can confirm that in the wave diagram in Simplified Music. Then between C and D you have a tone. C sharp is in the middle, or D flat. Between D and E you have a tone. D sharp is in the middle, or E flat, right? Then E and F, between E and F you have a natural semitone. Then between F and G you have a tone. So that means you have F sharp in the middle, or G flat. So this F, this is G, this is F sharp or G flat, and this is G. So from F to G, a tone. From F to F sharp, a semitone. From F sharp to G, that's another semitone. So therefore, from F to G is a tone. Then from G to A, you have another tone, right? So that means we'll have G sharp or A flat existing between G and A. This is G, this is A, this is G sharp or A flat, then this is A. This is G, this is G sharp. G sharp is a semitone from G. So you add a semitone to G, you get G sharp. You add another semitone to G sharp, you get A. G sharp is also the same as A flat. So let's move from A. This is A. You remove a semitone from A, you get A flat, which is also G sharp, right? Remember, when you're coming down, you flat. When you're removing a semitone from a note, that note is you are getting to is a flattened version of that note you are coming from. So this is A, we are coming from A. We get to this note here. This note is called A flat because it has been reduced by a semitone. It has been reduced by a semitone. We reduce A by a semitone, so we get A flat. So this is A flat. We use a semitone from A flat again. We get what note? We get G. So G, G sharp, A flat, G. A flat or G sharp. So then from A, right, we have A sharp. This is A, this is A sharp, then this is B. Again, this is B, this is C, this is C sharp. This is this is C sharp, this is D, this is D sharp, right? that's semitone, semitone, semitone. Do you understand? So this manual goes a long way to break all of that down. It's really, really simplified. It's on Amazon as well for international audience. I personally wrote this manual, and it's been a life-changing manual to those that have partaken of the contents in the book. So basically, that's the illustration for the distance between the 12 keys in music. So we have that same interval system occurring between all the notes on all other musical instruments. It's the exact same concept of tone and semitone distances. So this video was very helpful. I'd enjoy you to subscribe and like the video and share with your friends, those that would find this very helpful, those that are passionate about music and would love to learn music, and they should totally bear in mind to get a copy of this alongside my other music books as well. It will definitely go a long way in their musical journey, in simplifying their musical foundation. It's very important. The foundation on which you build anything is very important. It's very important to have a solid foundation, and you can definitely get that solid foundation at my music school, Charis Music School. So there are more details in the description for contacts and any other things you need clarification in. And also, you should be a member of the club, the Charis Club. That's my club. You get music tips week in, week out, that's sure to transform you into that professional musician you would love to be in no time, in a very simplified way, and of course the professional way as well. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you understood the intervals between the 12 keys in music. So the next step would be the scale. That is how to pick notes out of those 12 notes to use to create music. You have 12 notes, so how do you know which notes to use while singing? Bless the Lord, oh my soul. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul. Worship His holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, and worship His holy name. The person that sang that song, what was happening, while they were doing that? What notes were they using? It's in line with the major scale, and the major scale is just one out of the so many other scales in music. The major scale has a certain interval sequence, so there's a whole lot more to understand, about the intervals between the notes. And trust me, it's not difficult at all. Music is not difficult, as far as you already have the passion to learn. That is basically the number one ingredient to learn music. So, and God will see us through when you when I see you at the music school, when you enroll for training and subscribe to the club and get your copy of the music manuals. Enjoy the rest of your day.